On this board, there's a list of things, and that list is incomplete, but it is things we need to do before Hot Rod Drag Week, which is 11 days away. Tomorrow, Blasphemi needs to be on the chassis dyno, about 5 hours away in Mooresville. It's almost ready, but not quite. And today, we're going to do the last-minute items that this car needs, which include changing out old fuel pumps, changing out an ECU, just in case, and a couple other sensors, and should be ready to go. It runs, I think. And it drives. Will it make good power and will it stay alive? That is the question. So today we'll get the front end off, get the trunk open, change the fuel pumps, change some sensors, get it on the trailer, send it to Mooresville, where Pete Harrell, who's real good at doing stuff, will beep boop his way into epic levels of horsepower while keeping the rods inside of it. All right, Joe, we'll just take this off.
Up we go. Every little mod we make to this makes it that much better.
Oh, this car is well-oiled machine.
Right here.
No more,
now it comes off easy.
No more catching on things. Okay, we'll start at the front of the car. We have had issues with our belt tensioner losing tension and the belt slipping. And that's resulted in the car having, let's say, 14 pounds of boost at the starting line when it's sitting on the two-step, but only about 12.5 or 13 going down track because the belt slipped. So we already tried to put a different style of tensioner on here, one that slides left and right instead of swings off the snout. That didn't work because there was no way to adjust it. You couldn't get your hand in between the fan and that thing. So we're back to this. We're gonna do a shorter belt that wraps more around the pulley than this one and swings this down. And if need be, I'm gonna make a turnbuckle system to go from here to stop this thing from trying to pivot. At the back of the car, if you recall, when we were at Sick Week back in January, we had a hose burst on our fuel pump under here. So we're going to replace this deal because the truth is these Holley pumps have been in here for years now and I'm not taking any chances. So we're going to put a new street pump and a new race pump in here, and then we'll keep these for spares for when we're on the road. And then the last thing is we're going to change out our ECU because we learned recently we've had the wrong O2 sensors in here ever since Sick Week, and they may have damaged the O2 sensor drivers in the ECU. Not quite sure that it did it, but we're not taking any chances. We'll put the spare ECU in there and keep this one for our backup. So those are the things, and then they can go to the chassis dyno. And then we can start working on our C10, which we need to lower for you guys, because you know you're winning it. You know you are. If I'm being honest, at my core, at the center of my being, I'm a truck guy. Yeah, I like muscle cars, I like hot rods, but I can't seem to get away from good old-fashioned American pickups. Stuff with a V8 and a bed in the back for doing work. And I know you guys love them too, especially a classic Chevrolet C10 like this Cheyenne model. So I'm giving you one. You, or you, or you, or you. Someone is gonna win my truck. Not you, Joe, sorry, can't be you. No employees or friends of mine can win this deal. But if you go to fsmgarage.com right now, you'll see details on how you can enter to win my truck without even spending anything. You can just enter a postcard. It'll show you how. But if you buy a sticker pack or a shirt or hat or hoodies, that'll get you even more entries into the contest that'll see this 85,000 original mile 1976 Chevrolet C10 short bed in your driveway. Let me show you about this truck, right? I bought it from a lawyer, so you know it's good. And in the 20 years he owned this, from 1991 till now, he only put 20,000 miles on it. That's right, friends, look inside there. Now, if you have studious eyes or you're a square body Chevy fanatic, you'll note that is not the factory body color on the outside of the truck, but it is on the inside. That's because this thing's been repainted. And I don't mean like, hey buddy, she was a rusty hunk of crap, I needed a bunch of body work. No, it got a respray over factory sheet metal. Those are the original rockers, original bed sides, original fenders, all factory GM metal. Solid. Look at that. Look at that close. Watch this tailgate. Look down this side. She is not warped. She is not bent. She opens up just like that and shuts just like that, because this thing hasn't been in an accident. It's outstanding. And it's gonna get better because right now this thing is stock. We're about to hop her up. We're gonna do a full QA1 coilover conversion front and back, 20-inch wheels and tires. This thing's gonna look bananas. It's gonna stop better, corner better, handle better. We're gonna give it a better exhaust system so it's gonna sound even better. We are not, however, changing that old school Alpine tape deck because it works. So I'm gonna give you, and your new vehicle, a selection of my favorite cassette tapes to go in this for your road trip home, because there's no way whoever wins this isn't gonna wanna mob this thing all the way home, even if they live in California or New York. Perfect road trip vehicle. You know why? Factory GM air conditioning, the coldest thing ever. I mean, it will freeze your nuts off and make your nipples hard. It's outstanding. It's 90 degrees in Georgia. I had to turn it down on my way here because it was just too cold. It's perfect. Let's look under the hood. This truck has a small block Chevy 350 V8, which you know is good, and a 3-speed turbo 350 transmission. And it is 100% stock other than an Edelbrock carburetor. It fires right up, it makes no noises, it does all the right things. It's outstanding. God, I love it. I didn't want to give this truck away. I love this. I love the front end with the round headlights. That's my favorite. So here's how you can do this. Between now, which is somewhere around September 29th, and October 5th, go to fsmgarage.com and find out all the details on how you can enter to win this. If you don't get the truck, a bunch of you are going to win prize packs that have an FSM shirt, a hat, and sticker pack. Even more of you are going to win signed FSM hats. So lots of people are going to come up on this deal, and somebody is going to win my square body. Good luck.
All right.
All right. Shorter belt. Question I have is, the shorter belt, can I still run the street pulley with it? And with the shorter belt, what will that do with my idea of bracing the
Tensioner?
the tensioner? What happens? All right.
Did they happen to say how much shorter this belt is?
A lot shorter.
Crap, a lot.
A lot shorter.
This is our fun process of getting that thing. And new belts are tough because they're stiff.
I think you're right. Don't quite want to go. Maybe. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we're not getting the bigger pulley on this. I like it for racing.
Yeah.
It wraps a lot better. Better access to that bolt. It won't work on the street, but that's fine. We weren't running this one on the street anyway. So, looks like it clears everything.
How much more belt do we get now? Or more wrap? Like almost half the pulley now?
Yeah.
Here, you want to pull on that?
Yeah, maybe this will just work better just because it's wrapped more. That's
Yeah,
half
we're
the
getting
pulley.
half the pulley now.
Yeah, it used to be,
Like from almost from here to there.
yeah.
Just a little more than quarter before.
Yeah, this bolt was coming this way before.
Yeah.
All right. So there's our race belt. When we put the big pulley on, we use the longer belt. Yeah, what
So
we could
the
do
Chevrolet
is
one?
tomorrow let Pete dyno it and see if it slips. All right, everybody, here's what I've decided. I like our belt wrap. It's much better than it was before. We're gonna tighten this a lot. See if it survives the dyno session. We'll mark from here to here with a Sharpie. See if it moves. If it doesn't move, then we'll leave it. If it doesn't survive the dyno session, then we'll make an adjustable strut that goes from the tensioner down here to that water pump boss. And we'll make a secondary way to brace it. So, now that we're not doing that, Joe's gonna replace the fuel pump. I'm going to flip open our Super Trick passenger seat, the Ejecto Cedo Cuz seat, and we're going to change out this ECU because this one is an older one. It's been there a long time, and just in case, yeah, I'm going to leave that alone.
To damage our
And,
two sensor driver by running the wrong two sensors.
I'm going to see if it survives the dyno session.
then we're off to the dyno.
You want to change the fuel pump?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, it was probably time to change this pump out anyways. Our seals on our connectors have all splitted and pushed out of the electrical connector inside the tank, which is probably not optimal.
This is the nerve center of Blasphemi, as they say. These are all the relays that control everything we got to switch on and off in the car, power distribution. This is a 8-channel auxiliary injector driver, because we have 16 fuel injectors on this engine. 8 feeding the intake runners and 8 more inside of our supercharger. And I don't have to move this to get this out, which is kind of cool. I just have to pull out the bolts holding the ECU, unplug all the wires, and then the ECU comes right out. It's a quick change, if you will. But only if you have the right tools. Then it's good. So here's one of the major pieces of the puzzle we're changing. This is a Holley drop-in fuel cell module. These are really cool. Essentially what these do is replace the cap on the top of your fuel cell. And it doesn't matter whether you have a 6-bolt cap or a 12-bolt cap, they have one that'll fit there. It doesn't matter if you need 1 pump, 2 pumps, whether you want just regular old 12-volt DC pumps or a brushless pump. They have an application for you, whether your car makes 400 horsepower or 2,500 horsepower. It doesn't matter if you're on E85 gasoline, they have something that will work. And this bad dog is cool because you can adjust the height of the pump relative to your fuel cell and how deep it is. And all it does is you loosen the clamp, slide it down this rod. If your fuel cell is very short like ours, the end of the rod here will snap right off. And then all you do is move everything up. Hopefully not until you kink the hoses. These actually bend pretty good, but they're not actually kinked because they're corrugated. So all we're doing is adjusting the height of ours, and then we added Deutsch connectors to the end of these. This will drop right in and replace our old pump. We'll keep our old one for a spare just in case. All right, Joe. Ready? You want to show the folks how you adjust it?
First, I'm going to cut these off.
You don't have to cut those. You know they snap off, right?
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, 2 pairs of channel locks. See how they've already pre-cut it for you? You just hold this with one, grab the end with the other, snaps right off.
Okay.
No muss, no fuss.
No muss, no fuss. Let's test that theory.
Just in case, say like you're into the pit and you're like in a hurry and you don't have a death wheel, just hold that there. I'm surprised you didn't grab the bigger ones.
Well, these are the first 2 that are in the tray. I could go get some big ones. Big ones.
There you go. Boom. See? Yeah, you see
Simple.
that was? Look at that.
I didn't even have to use a death wheel.
Yeah, no sparks.
It takes all the fun out of it, though.
You can death wheel the next one.
Sparks and fuel. It's always fun.
Yeah. Chance of losing an eye.
Yes. Probably make a special tool for this, don't they?
It's called
It's called
JOE.
these. All right.
Throw on a new
Now I'm going to go
gasket.
match up our return line, match up everything to our old pump, drop it in.
What do you think? Don't be shy. It's just a camera. It's just a camera. It's just a camera. How's your mohawk doing today? How's your mohawk doing today? In a factory mohawk. Built right in. Look at this thing. Look at that thing. Dude, punk rock. Punk rock puppy. I'm a little stressed out right now because right now my baby is in North Carolina without me on the chassis dyno. And although I trust everybody that's there helping, David drove the car there, towed it there. Pete's dynoing it. Rye, who's going to ride with us at Drag Week, is there helping because he wired the car. It's hard to know that it's going to get, you know, just blasted on the dyno without me there driving it or standing there watching it. But there's work to be done here. And the first thing we have to do is load the Drag Week trailer and then get it out of here because all the parts for Blasphemi and the trailer are kind of in the way because today is Lower the C10 day. And our goal is to get the bed off today and start working on the back end of that truck because we're going to give it about a 4.6 drop and a complete coilover conversion from QA1. And you're going to love it because it's 100% bolt-on. It's something you can do at home. But what you can't do at home right now is load my trailer. So Joe and I got to do that. Ready? For those of you that remember the last video about this trailer where we upgraded some of the things by adding brakes to it and we all realized the tires were wearing weird because the wheels had a lot of camber. We figured out why, and it was because when they built the trailer, B&P couldn't get an axle the right length for this, and so they cut, sleeved, and welded it back together. And apparently when they did that, they didn't anticipate how much I was going to load into this, and so they took out a little bit of the load carrying capability of that axle. We overloaded the trailer and the wheels went like that. So they custom ordered axles for this trailer and the other ones they're building because they are going to build these if you guys want one. And so on Monday of next week, Craig's coming back and we're going to slide a new axle and new wheels and tires under this thing in preparation for Drag Week, which is now only 9 days away, I think. Yeah. So
The countdown is on.
it is. It is. So these are not gas cans, these are utility jugs. In the eyes of the federal government, I don't put gas in these. But Mr. Gasket sells them for utility.
All right, pull the C10 in for the first portion of our upgrades. I can't wait. I'm not going to want to get rid of this truck. It is so cool. Are you sure we have to give this away?
Yeah, it's too late now. There's lawyers involved.
Oh my God. Will we get lawyers for those lawyers?
Plus, people are already calling dibs on my Too Short tape.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently there was a photo that I put out, and a couple of my cassettes were in there. I think it was Hank Jr. and Too Short, and people were like, Too Short? I'm like, yeah, and it works too. And so I might have to include that with whoever wins. You know, a selection of my finest cassettes.
All right, well, we have these boxes, all these awesome QA1 parts to go underneath there.
Yeah, it's
But
gonna.
first, bed.
Yes, we are about to lose leaf springs, and we're gonna go to a track bar setup with coilovers. It's gonna be awesome. Hopefully no more wheel hop, hopefully better handling. It 100% bolts on, including the C-notch. So you could do this at home, you know, if you wanted to. Or just win this one and don't do anything. We'll do the work. Okay, she's not rusty, which means this should all come off pretty easily with cordless type stuff, you know what I'm saying?
I hope so. I don't know how much. No, it doesn't. It hasn't been undercoated, so we should be pretty good.
Ah, she's a peach, man. There's 2 fuel tanks. We gotta disconnect both fuel fillers, undo the taillights, take off the bumper, all the bed bolts, and then it should come right off. I'll start with the taillights. How crooked are you? 32 and a half, 30 and 7/8. Oh yeah, she crooked.
We're crooked.
Yep. By almost an inch. Now that I know the truck is officially crooked, I can remove the taillights. Well, I have good news. I see a wasp nest. That's not the good news. The good news is there's no wasps. The bad news is somebody who should never touch a pair of pliers has been playing with the wiring back here.
Yeah, they have.
Whew. Man. But she's not rusty. Not at all. This thing is beautiful underneath. But yeah, this is less than ideal. He used all the butt connectors and red wire for a ground here and black wire just kind of twisted around a bolt here. Okay.
Do you think that's the original spare? Look at that tire.
Dude, it could be.
It sure looks like it.
Look at that.
That's
That'd be pretty
wild.
sweet if that was a numbers matching
spare tire.
Yeah, with numbers matching air in it.
Yeah,
I think that's numbers matching dust right there coming off. Look at that.
I think you're right.
Now, I know I'm talking smack on these, but they did work. They're just, everything up to here is questionable. So right now, we're removing everything that is attaching the bed to the chassis. For instance, the wires going to the taillights, those are clipped to the chassis and then they run up into the sheet metal. So in order to get the bed off, we have to disconnect the wiring and get the wiring out. We have to take the bumper off. Where you put the gas in through the sides of the bed, we got to get those fillers out and unattached. This is all the tedious stuff that isn't hard, but it's time consuming. And we could go under there and just butcher the wires and cut them off, but we'd rather not do that if we can avoid it. Even though somebody else kind of already butchered them. So it looks like we had one brand new taillight housing on that side and one factory one on this side. So as I get older, my eyes suck less and less every year. And I used to come over here and I'd need my readers to read the tools, and then one day I realized Snap-on put lights in the toolbox. And as soon as I figured that out, I was like, oh yeah, that's where the 3/8 goes. I don't even need my readers. So thank you, Snap-on. Thank you. Thank you for the technology that makes me feel less old every time I use it.
Can you finish what you're doing?
Oh,
Oh, you said a normal one?
Yeah.
I was going to say, God, the Mickey Thompson stays in one spot.
It's custom. Second gear. Third gear.
All right, we made 926 horsepower. That was in third gear. And that is a repeat. So we got the data that we want to see. It's repeating itself, no pun intended. And we're going to now test out these fresh little bungs. So I'm going to remove this plug and open up the bung hole and move this O2 into that one. And then over there on that side, we're going to put it into the back on the number 7. And then we're going to do that, repeat that a few more times. And we're going to map out this whole motor on individual cylinders. We turned off the closed loop correction. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's turned off. Shouldn't correct. It should be fueling pretty much the same, because when it's making a pull, normally it's not correcting much. So we turn that off. Doesn't matter. Just trying to do 2 holes at a time to get some idea of which one's fat and which one's skinny, and see what happens.
8 little guys rowing a boat, and we want to see who's keeping up and who ain't. We're targeting 7.1-ish, and we're almost, yeah.
These are
One's a little high, one's a little.
The average here is 6'5".
Yeah.
Between the two, 6'4", somewhere in there. So they're on the fat side, which I kind of thought they would be.
Okay. So now we can trim these and get them.
Well, no, do this 4 times.
Oh yes.
Until we map it
And
out.
then we can make a decision and see who's keeping up and who's not.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna move some very hot O2s.
What do you have to say?
It says 1 and 2 are the leanest, 3 and 4 are perfect. Cylinders 5 and 6 are the fattest. 7 and 8 are fat, but not as fat as 5 and 6. 5 and 6, especially 5, if I remember right, 5 was the cylinder we were putting a bunch of fuel to during sick week, because that cylinder seemed to be going out. Actually, that cylinder seemed to be dead lean, and I bet what it was doing is it was misfiring because the coil had an issue, and so we were putting fuel to it. Now that we replaced the coil, now it shows really fat. So it sounds like there's a lot of room for improvement. They can lean out 5 and 6, probably lean out 7 and 8 some, and put some fuel to 1 and 2, and it should be happier.
All right, and we have now mapped all 8 cylinders on here. This is the front set, and basically we got
That's
is-
actually 5 and 6.
5 and 6 here. So
Yeah.
5 and 6, we got what I call it like a real Goldilocks situation going on here, right? So basically, what'd you say? The back one here, this guy's eating well.
These are, the back 2 are fat, but not outrageous. 5 and 6 are pretty fat. 3 and 4 are in pretty decent shape. The front 2 are lean.
And this is just basically a characteristic of this big guy up here.
Yep.
This is just, it is what you get. So the way this motor is set up for fueling, the 8 injectors here in the blower case are delivering about 60% of our primary fuel delivery. It's just hosing in here and it's mixing out and it's coming squirting down to the bottom to go wherever it's going to go. Down here, these little guys, these 80 pounders, these are delivering, I believe, you said 40%, and they're also doing our individual cylinder trimming.
Yes.
So the goal here is when we say we're going to take some fuel away from someone or give a little bit more to someone, those guys on the bottom are going to be trying to get everybody on the even playing field here.
Right. And just understand, it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, this cylinder's getting more or less fuel than, or less air than this one. It means that the fuel is going there more. Now, it may be both,
Yeah.
right? But these things just throw fuel here, there, and everywhere, and there's no way around it. You just got to try and even it
Yeah,
up.
it's the hand you're dealt with. You just try to keep it from eating itself alive.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna make a little bit of changes here to try and get everybody evened out. We're gonna warm it up and try to quantify our information. All right, so we have backed up and validated our changes on cylinders number 1 and 3, and we can see on the data that is in fact getting a little bit fatter and getting back in line where we want for the air fuel. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to the next worst, which were cylinders 5 and 6. That's the third row back on this guy. And we're gonna quantify the same thing, give it a little bit more fuel. Well, first we're gonna see, sometimes the changes in fueling up front can influence, if I add fuel to the number 1 cylinder, that fuel doesn't just directly go into the number 1. It could bounce around inside of the intake. It's like a tornado going on there, and it can end up in the back in the number 8. So you never really truly know, unless we can put down 8 sensors in all 8 primaries at the same time, which is possible. It's a bit overkill for what we're trying to do here. So okay, so we've made it through all of our well, it's not really AEB testing, but moving stuff around, and it's all put back together. We're back in the primaries, and we have gotten our left and right bank AFRs tightened up quite a bit. And now we feel pretty comfortable that Pete here said we're gonna, quote, put a tune-up in it and try to make some more power, right? We lean it out a little bit and try to make some jam. Yep, he likes it. And that is a very wet and very rainy wrap up on the adventures of Mr. Blasphemi here in the Carolina edition. Clean bill of health from Peter Harrell here at Harrell Engine and Dyno. Mr. Blasphemi is going to get back on this trailer here and make a wet trip all the way back down to Georgia, where Finnegan is going to get it ready to go testing at least one more time before we reconvene at MIR for Drag Week. 988 horsepower, final answer. Can't wait to lose my hearing in this car, lose my mind in this car, and fart in it.
This is awesome. It's going to make more power, which might be a problem. A good problem, but a problem. Might be too fast.
We can never be too fast. We can always slow ourselves down.
Oh, I'm good at that.
Yeah, we have enough power to make up for driver error.
Boat's too slow? Let me put nitrous on it.
That's right.
I'll slow you right down.
That is a vintage looking tire.
It definitely is. Let's see what we got here.
Is that a stock wheel?
Yeah.
That's cool looking. General G. General O?
C7815, there's the size.
I think this is our date code here. It'll be somewhere in here. DOT, see?
Oh.
If we have to decipher the date code, I don't remember how to do it. I always have to Google it.
DOC 21 6 something. Or is it this one right here?
No, that's the
No,
size. G7315.
Yeah, this should be our date code.
Let's Google it. I want to know the answer. That's a cool looking wheel. Belted Jumbo 780. Yeah.
But look at the tread. Look at
What tread?
Look at that. It's still got nubs on it.
This is
It's
the
like-
this is the hydroplane special.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's never been used. Look how deep the grooves are.
Yeah. The nubs just got hard and fell off. Oh, let's find the date code.
Yeah, let's find the code.
Let me get my phone.
you wanna
Google it real quick.
ACVVDDC216. I don't know what that last digit is.
The first two digits represent the week of the year.
21st
And the
week.
second two digits represent the year.
21st week. So Aprilish. 1960 something. 68.
Oh, can't be that old, really?
This tire is 10 years older than the truck.
Yeah, it says the first two digits are the week, the second two digits represent the year. For example, code 1422 means the tire was made in the 14th week of 22.
This says 21.
Oh, which is considered, it says, tires made before the year 2000 used a 3-digit code, which is now considered unsafe to use.
Okay, what's the 3-digit code mean? Because this is 216.
A 3-digit code, for example, the last digit might indicate the last digit of the year of manufacture. These are considered very old and potentially unsafe.
So
So
truck
the-
was made in 76 or sold in 76. The last digit is a 6.
This could have been a factory spare tire.
Wow. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Not cool enough to waste any more time on it.
No.
But cool nonetheless. Could be numbers matching air in there. I don't know.
Well, only a little bit.
Half a PSI. It still counts though. Helps the resell. For show. All right. If you move that, I'm going to go under there and get the wires out.
We're just going to pull these all out of the tail lights.
They're already out. We just got to pull them back down.
Okay. The blow up guy outside the oil change place. Come on in. Bingo.
Here we
got the cap.
I believe we are up and up. Okay, ready to go backward?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go easy.
That one on your side might need to be moved out a little bit.
Okay, we're good.
Here we go.
Come on down. Much better.
It worked.
Alright.
Totally sketchy, but once again worked.
It's because we left the spirit fingers on the zip ties.
That was the key.
It's the spirits controlling our fate.
I was so glad to see the bed put back down.
Come back down?
I was like, oh God. We need to make this where it's wider. Like an X.
We could make it where it's wider, but the problem is getting everything back to the not even middle.
It worked. All right. Let's take a look at it. As we indicated before, this truck has been repainted, and you can tell by the overspray. But I believe this chassis is original. It has minimal surface rust. Like, this thing is in great shape. Most of the parts, I believe, are original. I do know they replaced the gas tank. They told me they did, but obviously you can see that's a brand new gas tank. That's a stock one. Both tanks and the switch do work, which is cool. We're definitely going to have to upgrade this exhaust system. I'm thinking some Black Widow mufflers might sound kind of cool. And spare tire cross member is probably going to disappear. Not sure. We'll check that out. We got to read the instructions. We do know leaf springs are going bye-bye, and coilovers will be coming back in its place, which is great.
Just got done reading all the instructions for this. It's pretty simple. It's a lot of hammering of rivets. We've got to remove all the rivets on the rear leaf spring perches, the front leaf spring perches, some on the bottom for this cross member up in front. The rivets for the factory bump stops have to come off. Those bump stops come out. This is our frame piece that goes in with our C-notch in it. Shock mounts are there, track bar here, link bars are here. Per instructions, you do one side at a time, swap to the other side. So we'll get this side knocked out and move to the other side and get cranking on this thing. Let's do it. Ready to make some noise, sparks, all that good stuff.
Now we get to the fun part, because Joe has done all the dirty work. He has spent the last, I don't know, 6 hours, give or take, knocking off the heads of every rivet holding the leaf spring perches, the bump stop, exhaust hangers, some other miscellaneous things here. Now that that is all gone, we can proceed with modifying our stock C10 chassis for our QA1 rear suspension, which is going to convert this truck from leaf springs to coilovers using 100% bolt-on components. That's right, we don't have to weld anything. We do get to cut our chassis right here to provide some clearance for our axle, because we are lowering this truck. And we're not gonna go so low that we need a monster notch. We're not putting wheels and tires so big on it that we need to step our frame rails up, but the truck needs to be functional. So even though we can lower it, and we could leave the frame stock, the moment you put a heavy, load of manure or whatever you're gonna haul on this thing after you win it, you need to have a little extra clearance here so the axle tube doesn't contact the frame and start bending stuff. So enter QA1's frame gusset and suspension mount, which is going to go right here. And it's going to get located off a lot of factory holes where there were rivets. And this is going to do several things. First off, it's going to stiffen the chassis, but it's also going to provide a mounting location for our outer links. These are what the rear end's going to pivot on, okay? It's going to provide coilover mounts for our coilover shocks. It's also going to give us a notch for our axle to travel up into once we cut the frame. And the process for all of this begins with jack stands, a floor jack, and this cardboard template. Essentially what you want to do is support the chassis in front of the notch here with some jack stands, and then behind the part you're going to notch, you can put a floor jack in there, hopefully the one that doesn't leak and droop while you're doing the work, and you just put a little light pressure there so that after you use this template and you get out your trusty die grinder or Sawzall and you cut this notch, you don't want the chassis to just fall down. That would suck. It's also the reason why we're doing one side at a time. We're not going to cut both sides at once. We didn't even remove the suspension components from that side. We're supporting everything while we cut just this one side and install this one piece. And this piece is nice. It's powder coated. It is MIG welded. Everything here in this kit is made right here in the good old US of A, including the dampers. Those coilover shocks, the double adjustable ones, those are made right here in America. They even have serial numbers. And they dyno test them. So QA1 knows when they ship you those coilovers that they're gonna work with their shock settings in their instructions. So, Joe, you wanna do the honors? I feel like you did all the hard work. You've already traced it. Do you wanna be the guy that slices and dices the chassis?
No problem. Just got to drill a couple holes up there.
Yeah, and so we're gonna drill the corners out so that we have round corners and so that we don't cut outside the line. So basically the drilling the corners does two things. It takes out stress risers because you don't want 90-degree angle cuts there. Those tend to tear or crack. The rounded corners eliminates that possibility and also lessens the likelihood of you cutting past where you want to cut. Just makes the whole thing a lot cleaner. The other thing we got to do is we've got to open up some of the rivet holes here to 7/16 of an inch for our new hardware. So drilling and cutting right up, and then we'll put this on. And if you lose these instructions, QA1.net, you can get them. And then you can zoom in on these pictures and they won't be in black and white, which is kind of nice. Beautiful. You're holding it the wrong way. That's why it's doing that. She's free. All right, everybody. So the reason for drilling the holes in the corners is so you have a round corner to run the blade into, and then you can kind of flap disc up to it. That works great as long as you don't blow past it like this. So we're gonna round that corner. We're gonna re-round that corner because the hole is gone. But this side just needs a little cleanup and it'll go right into the round corner, which is nice. The QA1 C-notch bracket locates using 4 of the 6 front leaf spring hanger bolt holes on the side of the frame.
Right.
The top 2 and bottom 2 need to be drilled to 7/16.
Oh, these ones. Okay.
Everybody at home, this kit comes with everything. You don't got to go to the hardware store one time. You don't even have to raid the boltsandnuts.com bin that we have for 3/8 bolts, because if you drill these holes out like the instructions say, you can use the hardware that comes with the kit to loosely hang this thing up there. It's outstanding. The quality, unparalleled. Well, it's parallel. There's other kits that are awesome, but this kit is really awesome. So finger tight is perfect, and then we'll clamp this up and we'll clamp this that way. And then we can drill the other holes.
So our next step is clean up the leaf spring pad, clean out our holes here. We have another plate that goes here. We've got to cut off the stock shock mount on the axle, grind all that up, get it all cleaned up. And then we can bolt on our axle pieces here and then get our link bars installed and our shock, and this side will pretty much be done. And then I'll go to the other side and knock out another 22, 24 rivets, remove all that stuff, and yeah, be miserable. but it's fun. Okay. Next thing we have here is our rear end brackets. You have this plate goes on to the leaf spring perch. We'll mark it and drill 2 5/8 holes. Yay!
Bingo.
We got holes at work.
Bingo.
All right. Voila. Okay, we're done. Let's go home.
So this is both the rear coilover mount and the panhard bar mount
And the link bar.
and the link bar mount.
Yes. Now, once you get this slid up here bolted on, so according to the instructions, we need to keep this space from here to here equal front to back.
So we need a measuring stick. I got you the one with the big numbers.
Ah, good, because I need the big numbers, even with my glasses on.
It's time to up the strength. You know, they recommend seeing the dentist and the eye doctor every year.
Want to go on that side? I will get right here. Go ahead and run this one up. 2 3/4.
Nailed it.
So,
Torque it.
yeah, how do we torque it without getting it to move either way?
Well, we'll just torque them both. We can see how far we move the torque wrench.
Okay.
We should be able to figure it out. That was 45. 50. 62. 77. 90. All right.
Go ahead. $90.
Should be close.
$2 7/8. I think next on our list is build the link bars.
Yep. Assemble trailing arms by threading the JN12S jam nuts onto the rod ends. Fully thread the rod ends and bushings into the end lengths. Set the trailing arm length at 21.5 inches before installation. Final wheelbase adjustments should be made once the truck is at ride height.
Did it say Yingling? That sounds really good right now.
I wish it said anything.
Oh, Endling. Sorry.
That would
It's Friday. You know where my head's at.
That'd be a difficult acquisition for people in certain parts of the country. 50 sleeves.
Oh, you're going for the anti-seize all over everything bottle.
Well, I just, the new owner might want to take it apart someday. All right, I need jam nuts. Is this a left?
Working
or
on
right?
it.
Set the trailing arm length at 21.5 inches. If you thread it all the way in, it is not quite 21, it's 20 7/8. So let's take them out evenly.
You got big fingers.
Tall. Tall boys. Pretty darn close.
Okay.
Good enough for who they're for. I don't know who that is, but I feel like it's good enough. They're within a 1/16 of an inch, give or take the little on the end of the tape measure. Install the bushing end on the frame bracket with the grease fitting pointed down. using a 9/16 by 3.5 inch bolt, washers, and nut.
I got those.
Install the rod end on the axle bracket with a 5/8 by 3.5 inch bolt. And high misalignment spacers. That's these guys. These are the guys that allow this rod end with a bolt in it to pivot way further than it otherwise normally would, and allows your rear end suspension to flex, so that if you are running from the cops and one wheel hits the curb before the other wheel, it kind of does this to your axle. This is what helps you get away. This will change your geometry depending on how much you lower the truck.
Got it.
We're probably looking for this thing to be parallel at ride height or somewhere close to that, but we don't know what ride height is. We'll just throw it in the middle for now, in the middle of this one for now, and then Bob's your uncle once this thing's on the ground and we set ride height.
Okay.
So we'll go there, and then it won't reach here because we need to disconnect the other end and get this pulled forward. Or do one of these deals, which will be hard since it's still in the leaf springs on that side. We skipped a step. We should have the pinion resting on a jack stand right now. Were the instructions saying only disassemble this side?
Yeah, it said to do this side, then do the other side.
Huh. Repeat steps through 725 for passenger side.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't hook it up because we
Till
haven't
we do
done
the other
that,
side.
and now we need to do the other side.
Okay.
Once the other side's done, then we do the torque arm, the center diff, all that stuff.
Okay.
That's a lot of rivets. All right, let's get the leaf spring out and stuff, and then I can throw that on the trailer.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, folks, come back next week and I'll have that other one off.
Gird your loins. So we're just gonna time lapse this next part, which is disassembling the whole passenger side of the truck. Basically the same thing we just did. And when I say we, it was mostly Joe. I was upstairs shooting emails off and doing paperwork and paying bills while he cut the head off of 38 rivets. I might help him with this side maybe. All right, everybody. Here's where we're leaving you. Driver's side of the frame is plated. Link bar mounts are on the axle. Got the other side blown apart. And now it's time to go hang out with our families. And yeah, back half's not done. I didn't actually expect to finish the whole back half because we're kind of short on time. But the good news is, Blasphemi is back home. She is dyno tuned. More importantly, we found out how to make her happy. Shout out to David for towing it there, for Rye being there because he's riding with us, and for Pete for tuning it and going through all the trouble of moving our O2 sensors around to all these different ports I welded in to the head editors so we could find out what each cylinder was actually doing in conjunction with our exhaust gas temperature probes. Yes, we have EGTs in every pipe. We also wanted to know what was happening air fuel wise. And essentially what we learned was 1 and 2 were pretty darn lean. 5 and 6, 7 and 8, really rich. And 3 and 4 were almost perfect. So once Pete straightened all that out, that motor started sounding better. It was much happier. And now we know we are good to go for Hot Rod Drag Week. With any luck next week, we will make one more attempt to go to a drag strip and iron out our whole shot. And then we're off and running. And we will jump back on the C10. I expect the next video to be about finishing the back half of that thing and track testing Blasphemi, but we'll see how it goes. But no matter what, we'll see you next time on Finnegan's Garage. Thanks for hanging out. Between now, which is somewhere around September 29th, and October 5th, go to fsmgarage.com and find out all the details on how you can enter to win this. If you don't get the truck, a bunch of you are going to win prize packs that have an FSM shirt, a hat, and sticker pack. Even more of you are going to win signed FSM hats. So lots of people are going to come up on this deal, and somebody is going to win my square body. Good luck.